Hi guys, welcome to today's video. We are going to solve these questions on arrays. So these are the most asked important questions for Java programming. So we'll try to answer it one by one. So let's start. So the first question is printing all elements in an array. So we can do this in just a one line. I will create a class here. So for iterating through the list, so there is no need to have an index. So I will use a for each loop here. Got it right? So I will put this in a method. So next question is counting the number of elements in an array. So instead of printing it, I will increment a count variable here. I will take another method. Got the logic right? So I will call the method. See, got the correct output right? So next question, printing elements in the reverse order. So we definitely need an index here. We are traversing the array from last to first. So I will take another method. Got the logic right? So let's run this. Sorry, I forgot to call the method. Getting on. So next question, printing all elements at even indices. So there is a need of index, so we'll definitely use a normal for loop here. The index will be 0, 2, 4, 6 and so on. So instead of incrementing one by one, I will increment the I variable with 2. Okay, I will start at 0 and I is equals to 0. I is less than arr dot length. I is equal to I plus 2. Got it right? Let's run this. So sorry. See, getting 10 is at 0th index and 30 at 2nd index. Okay, so next question, calculate the sum of all elements. I will take a variable and for every iteration I will update the sum variable. Okay, Getting a next question. Print all duplicate elements in an array. So we previously done that, so we'll do it again. For every iteration means, so I will update the array here. 26 3 10. For every iteration, let's take, we are at this index, so first we have to check if 40 is already present before that index or not. Okay, we have to traverse from 0 to till that index, and if that element 40 is already present in this array, we have to print that 40, means 40 is a duplicate element, right? Okay, we have to use nested loops here. So for every iteration we have to take a boolean value. Flag is equals to, by default it will be false. For every iteration we have to check from starting of the array. Okay, in j is equals to 0, j is less than till what index? ith index. J plus plus, if array of I double equals to array of j, means the element is already present before that index. That means the element that we are currently at the index is duplicate element. We have to print it. We have to update the boolean value to true. Okay, so again we have to check if flag means if the element is duplicate, we have to print that element. Getting a, let's call this print duplicates. Getting it right. 20 and 10 are the duplicate elements. Okay, so I will also add a duplicate element 3. Let's try to run this. Getting a next question. Sorting array without using predefined methods. So let's create a method here. I will use bubble sort here. So while iterating through the list, we have to check so for this what we have to do is for example we are at this index, first index, so we have to sort the array, right? That means the first element will be the smallest element in the array. Okay, for every iteration we have to find the smallest element in this array. Okay, after getting it, we will be at this position and it will be replaced by the smallest element present in this subarray. Getting it? For example, we are at this index 40, we have to find the smallest element present in this subarray. Okay, so let's try to implement it. For int I is equals to 0, I is less than arr dot length I plus plus. For every iteration we have to get the smallest element, right? We have to swap the elements. Okay, so subarray will start at I plus 1 index, j is less than arr dot length j plus plus. This is the subarray and we have to find the smallest element. Means if I is greater than j, means I is a bigger value, we have to swap it with j. Okay, so we have to store I value in a temporary variable. We have to give a condition here. If array of I is greater than array of j, means I is bigger than j, we have to swap it. Okay, int m is equals to array of I, array of I is equals to array of j, and array of j is equals to temp. It's just a swapping. Okay, you understand it, right? Okay, then let's print this. See, getting what we are doing is, suppose we are at this index. Okay, let's take this. We are at this index, right? We have to find the smallest element. So we will get 3. We will swap the element if 10 is greater than any number. Okay, after the nested for loop is at here, it will compare 10 with 6. That means 10 is greater than 6, right? So it will swap here. So 6 will be at the first index, and for the next 3 will be compared to 6 here. There will be 6 here, right? After that iteration, so 6 is greater than 3 and 3 will be here. You understand it, right? You are getting it, right? So suppose we are at this index, we have to find the smallest element in this array and we have to swap it with this current index. That's all. Getting so next question, merge two arrays. So I'll create a method here, public static void merge in array of a comma in array of b. First we have to create a result array. So int length is equals to a dot length plus b dot length. Int array of result is equals to new int of length. We created an empty array here, so we have to assign this result elements with both a and b. We can do it in a single for loop. So far int I is equals to 0, I is less than length I plus plus. So if I is less than a dot length, we have to assign a elements into result array. Okay, so result of I is equals to a of I. So if I is greater than a dot length, okay, we have to assign b elements. So what will be the index? That means if for example let's take let's take an array. First array will have 1 2 3 4. Second array will have 5 6 7 8 9 10. Suppose array index is 0 to third index, it will assign a elements into the result array. Okay, so if the index is 4, we have to start from b array. That means array index 4 means for b it will be 0. Okay, so what we have to do, b a dot I minus a dot length, getting a minus 1. Means if I index is 4, that means a elements are assigned to result set, and it's now chance for b. Okay, so I will be at 4. That means we have to assign b 0th index. Okay, I minus means I is 4, 4 minus a dot length, array 4th length is what, 4. Okay, so here it will be result of 5. Something is wrong. Okay, I will remove the -1. Let's try to print it. I will call here a is equals to 1 2 3 4, b is equals to 1 5 6 7 8, merge a comma b. I think we might get some error. Okay, we got it. You understand, huh? You got it right. Okay, printing the largest element in an array. It's so easy. Okay, public static void get max of int array. We have to create a variable to store the maximum value, or there is no need of index. Okay, I will use for each loop arr. If element is greater than max, we have to assign it to max. Okay, done. Next question, smallest element in an array. Same logic here, just changing the condition will get it. Into min is equals to 0 for int I is equals to int I in array. If I is less than min, what we have to do, we have to assign with I. So there is a problem here with the initialization for minimum value. Here we are giving 0, right? So it's not good. What we have to do, rather we have to assign with integer dot max value. Getting a okay. So we have to print the minimum, right? So min, you're getting right. So minimum will be assigned to value something like 241600 something. Okay, it will give the maximum value for this minimum, and while checking it, the element will be compared. Okay, if the I is less than minimum, we have to assign it to that variable. Getting I will call it get minimum of arr. Getting the minimum value 3. So next question, finding the frequency of each element in an array. So for this there is a lot of code for this, so try to understand it. Static void find frequency. For this we have to find we have to get an array with unique values. Okay, so we have to find the number of unique values present in that array. Okay, so for int I is equals to 0, I is less than arr dot length I plus plus, I will take a boolean value here, false. I will iterate through list again, j is equals to 0, j is less than I, j plus plus, to verify if that element is already present or not, means if there is a duplicate or not. Okay, so if array of I equals to array of j, we have to change the flag value to true. That means the element is duplicate. We have to check if the element is duplicate or not. So if it is duplicate, we can skip this. Okay, for this we need count here. Int count is equals to 0. We have to count the number of unique values, right? So else means if the element is not a duplicate, we will increment the count value. So for this logic, we are just counting the number of unique values. Okay, and we will create a result array here. Int result is equals to new int of count. So now we know the length of distinct values. Now we have to assign it. Okay, int index is equals to 0. we're getting we're just initializing with the basic index to assign the values to result set. Again we are using the same logic. Int I is equals to 0, I is less than arr dot length I plus plus. I will take a boolean value here, false, for int I j is equals to 0, j is less than I, j plus plus. Check if the element is duplicate or not. If array double equals to array of j, flag is equals to true. So we have checked the condition if the element is duplicate or not. If not flag, that means if the element is not duplicate, we have to assign this to result. Index plus plus is equals to array of I. What we are doing here, we are assigning I to the result. So at starting index will be 0, right? After assigning, index will be incremented. You getting a? So let's print this result. What's the question here? So sorry, we have to. Yeah, I just wrote a program to remove duplicates, right? That's not the case. Yeah, okay, fine. We are in a right path. Okay, let's run this. We have to find the frequencies. Now we got all the distinct values. Okay, and now what we have to do, we have to find the occurrences of each element. So I will take new array here to store the frequencies of each element. Okay, now we have unique values. So int frequencies is equals to new int of result dot length. Okay, so we have to iterate through that result set. Int result, for each iteration we have to find the number of occurrences. Okay, I will take a count here. Int count is equals to 0. This is the count for the element present in the result. Okay, so int we will take as frequency. Why we are getting duplicate value? Okay, we have to give it a name. Just give it as occurrence. So suppose we are at this index 10, we have to find how many occurrences are present in this array. Okay, we have to iterate through that array. For int j is equals to 0, j is less than array dot length j plus plus. If I double equals to array of j, we have to increment the occurrence plus plus, getting a frequency of index is equals to occurrence index plus plus. So index is already at the last position for the result set. We have to reinitialize it with 0. Index is equals to 0. You understand it, right? So let's print this. We have to iterate. So for int I is equals to 0, I is less than result dot length I plus plus. System dot print result of I plus frequency of I. So let's run this. Okay, getting a 10 has a frequency of 2, 22, 31. You got the logic, right? First what we are doing, we are calculating the length of distinct elements. Okay, and then we are assigning the unique values to the result set. Okay, this logic is what we are just checking if the current element is duplicate or not. Okay, after this we are creating an array to store the frequencies. Okay, so for this we are iterating through each element at a time for in the result array. So for each element we are calculating the occurrence in array. Okay, and we are storing that occurrence in frequency array. Got it right? So there is a simple logic here. So instead of doing all these, we can do this using collections. Okay, create a hash map here, hash map of integer frequencies is equals to new hash map. For this we have to provide key and values, right? So both are integers, integer comma integer. So iterate through each element. I will use a for each loop here, and we have to put this into that hash map, frequency dot put of I, and what will be the value. So this is the key, right? For example, if we put 10 here, we have to assign it with occurrence. So if there is no element present in the hash map, we have to use frequency dot get or default method. For I, if there is no element, we can assign it with 0 and increment with 1. Did you understand what just happened here? For example, let's take this hash map. It will be stored as key value pairs. Okay, for example, there is nothing in this. Okay, there is nothing, there is empty hash map. So if what we are doing, first element will be 10, right? So what it's doing, it's assigning the 10 into this frequency hash map. First it will assign the key here 10 with what will be the value, frequency dot get or default. That means if 10 is already present, it will get the value of 10. Okay, if 10 is already not present in the hash map, it will assign a 0. Okay, this method will give value for 10 if already present. If not, it will give a 0, and we are incrementing with 1. So at initial it will be 1. For the next method, what we are what is that? So I will just copy this. Okay, paste it here. Next element is 20, right? So 20 is not present in the hash map, so it will assign with 1. Next one is 30, it will be 1. 40 same 1, but when it comes to 20, it will check if 20 is already present or not. If 20 is present, what is the value? 1 here, right? So it will return